Welcome to your daily AI News Digest. Today, we're jumping forward to February 21st, 2026, because there's a massive reality check happening across the entire AI landscape. And believe me, the numbers behind this shift, they are absolutely staggering. Let's get right into it.
$800 billion. Now hold on, this isn't some huge new investment. It's actually the amount OpenAI just slashed from its long-term spending forecast. You heard that right. This one figure really sets the stage for our entire story today. A great recalibration is officially underway.
And this really captures the new mood perfectly. For the last few years, the mantra was simple: scale at all costs. Just build bigger, faster, more. Well, that's officially over. The new mantra, the one driving every big decision you're about to see, is sovereign efficiency. This is a whole new era, one that's all about discipline, resources, and geopolitical common sense.
So let's kick things off with our lead story, which we're calling The Great AI Recalibration. This is all about how the biggest names in the game are being forced to completely rethink their financial strategies, trading in those wild speculative dreams for some cold, hard, calculated precision.
Here's a perfect example of what I mean. Nvidia is basically swapping a handshake deal, a $100 billion promise to build stuff for OpenAI, for a solid $30 billion equity stake in the company. It's a classic de-risking move. Why? Well, now they own a huge piece of the most valuable AI company on the planet, and crucially, they help lock in the future of their own CUDA ecosystem. It's smart. And here's exactly why they're making that move. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Building these data centers, which are the size of small cities, isn't just a money problem. It's a logistical nightmare. You're talking about power grids, regulations, land. It's insane. The physical world is finally pushing back, and even a giant like Nvidia has to listen.
And you know, this trend is rippling across the whole industry. Look here, OpenAI's new target is $600 billion. Still a massive number, sure, but it's part of this bigger shift. You see, Meta is on a similar track, Google's focusing on its own full stack, and Microsoft is making targeted plays in emerging markets. The big takeaway here, spending isn't just big anymore. It's getting strategic, focused, and way more disciplined.
Okay, so let's shift gears. We're moving from the financial story in Silicon Valley to a huge geopolitical story that's unfolding in India. The India AI Impact Summit just wrapped up, and honestly, it might have just completely changed the global conversation around who holds the power in AI.
And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, 500,000 people. 500,000 people showed up to this summit at Bharat Mandapam. This was not some regional tech conference, folks. This was a global event, signaling that the center of gravity in the AI world is starting to shift.
And it wasn't just talk and nice speeches. The summit locked in $250 billion in investment commitments. That capital is all aimed at building out India's own domestic AI infrastructure, setting it up to be a completely new kind of global AI powerhouse.
Now this slide breaks down the truly game-changing agreements that came out of the summit. You've got the New Delhi Declaration, the first major set of AI rules led by the Global South, a huge deal. Then, India joined the Pax Silica agreement with the US and others to secure the all-important chip supply chain. And get this, OpenAI and Google are making massive commitments to build sovereign AI infrastructure in India for India. We're watching the birth of what some are calling a third way for AI development.
So you have to ask, what's behind all these huge financial and geopolitical moves? Well, it's a simple, inconvenient truth. The virtual world of AI has finally and forcefully slammed into the physical limits of our planet. This is a story about energy, raw materials, and memory. This warning right here from Dimas Hassabis, the head of Google DeepMind, is absolutely critical. He's saying the biggest problem isn't the speed of the processors anymore. The real bottleneck, the choke point, is memory. It's like having the fastest engine in the world, but you've only got a tiny gas tank.
And the specific piece of tech at the center of this whole mess is called high bandwidth memory, or HBM. Just think of it as the super fast, short-term memory that these giant AI brains need to think. The supply is incredibly tight, and it's forcing the entire industry to completely rethink how they build things.
So what's the solution then? Well, we're seeing this big pivot to what you could call local-first AI. Instead of everything running in some giant, faraway data center, new models are being designed to run right on your phone, your laptop. It's a hybrid approach that only calls out to the cloud when it absolutely has to. And this solves huge problems with speed, privacy, and of course, cost.
But this new world of distributed AI
it comes with its own set of challenges. As these powerful systems get everywhere, we're starting to see this major collision between the race to keep them secure and this growing fear of what it is we're actually creating.
So today, Anthropic rolled out a new feature that just perfectly captures this tension. It uses its own AI to find security holes in computer code, specifically to defend against other AIs that are trying to attack that code. This is the start of a real AI arms race, moving beyond human-scale cybersecurity to machine-speed warfare.
And at the exact same time, we get this absolutely chilling warning from the United Nations, comparing unregulated AI to Frankenstein's monster. The call is now for legally binding safety rules, kind of like what we have for medicine. It really feels like the era of just trusting companies with voluntary guidelines is coming to a rapid end.
And this tension is playing out right here at home, too. In the US, you've got the federal government trying to create one set of rules for everybody. But states like California, Texas, and New York, they're already pushing ahead with their own tough regulations. This constitutional clash could create a really messy and complicated legal landscape for everyone.
Okay, so let's try to tie all of today's events together. This new reality, one defined by physical limits and geopolitical pressures, is fundamentally changing how AI is actually being used at every single level of society. But here's the thing, despite all these constraints, the real-world impact of AI is just accelerating. It's becoming a true force multiplier. I mean, a Google AI agent is solving math problems that have stumped humans for decades. Another AI database just discovered new materials that could end our reliance on rare earth magnets. And on a practical level, a community college saved its budget by using AI to spot thousands of fraudulent applications. This is where you see the tangible return on investment. All of this brings us to a new kind of leader in this industry, what we're calling the AI resource realist. And this is really the new paradigm. Success isn't just about who can build the biggest, most powerful model anymore. It's about who can masterfully navigate the very real limits of physics, finance, and global politics. So going forward, the future of AI is going to be defined by how the industry solves these three critical tensions, right? It's the constant tug of war between massive scale and surgical efficiency, between the centralized cloud and devices on the edge, and, as always, that delicate balance between innovating freely and regulating responsibly.
And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. In this new era of very real limits, what's AI's greatest value? Is it still about chasing infinite scale and always thinking bigger? Or is it about finally embracing our constraints and learning how to think smarter?